Tonight, more troubles for under-fire MP for Ayawaso West Wuogon as the NDC file official complaint of alleged electoral malpractice at the office of the special prosecutor against the MP. We have exclusive details plus a flurry of condemnations from Shraj, Kojo and anti-corruption campaigners against the conduct of the MP.
So once there is footage showing the distribution, both those who are distributing as well as those who received are persons of interest.
It's not right to treat us as the legal term, to share food, to share money to anybody in the queue.
We have details of this particular story. Speak to all the anti-corruption campaigners and to establish what exactly the OSP can do in this particular matter here on Top Story. Brought to you always by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. Well, tonight, there is more trouble for MP for Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency, Lydia Sairam Al-Hassan, who has been under intense fire over an incident during the special voting yesterday. Now, in the last few hours, the NDC in the constituency have filed a criminal complaint against the MP at the office of the special prosecutor, alleging electoral malpractice. Lydia Al-Hassan was captured on tape handing out bags containing food to several persons who had lined up to vote at the polling station. We'll get into the petition shortly. First, though, listen to this report cataloging similar act during Monday's post with Lydia Al-Hassan's action capturing national attention.
Section 34 of the Representation of the People law makes it an offense if a person offers or gives food, drinks, entertainment, or other provisions to a voter before, during, or after an election in order to influence their vote or to reward them for how they voted or chose not to vote. During Monday's special voting held in 14 regions, sharing of food by aspirants were rampant. Perhaps the most popular of these instances was the one witnessed in the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency, where the MP, Lydia Sairam Al-Hassan, shared packs of food to persons who had queued to vote. Despite a video capturing the MP in this act, she denied in subsequent interview with some journalists of ever engaging in such conduct.
I wasn't here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m. and I left here a few minutes ago. I don't even know what you're talking about. I am yet to find out from them what happened.
Her contender, John Dumelo, was livid about the situation.
Why are you showing food to people in the queue? Why are you doing that? Why we can't share? We can share. Let's respect the rules of the Electoral Commission. What kind of stupidity is this?
In the Ayawaso Central constituency here in Accra also, both the NDC and NPP reps shared food. This time, not to voters who are lined up to vote, but to electoral officials. Here is NDC's parliamentary candidate, Abdul Rauf Tubazu.
You didn't see it, my brother. You are the one saying it. Probably I was somewhere here. I saw them eating food, but I don't know who gave them the food. All I can say that I'm not involved in it. I'm not aware that we are sharing food to anybody.
But the presiding officer at the polling center, Billings Abrokwa, was clear that instructions from the Electoral Commission was that no such items should be received from the political parties or candidates.
It's never right. So our officials, we told them, when they give you food, collect it, put it down. Because if you don't know, you take it and something happens to you, easy, and you will be in trouble.
Going into the general election on Saturday, there are now fears this conduct may be rampant. The special prosecutor has deployed officers across the country to monitor and investigate such conduct. Kweku Asante for Joy News.
Well, Kweku did that particular report, and he'll be joining me in studio with some more on this raging controversy. And before we get into Kweku, there has been a flurry of criticism and condemnation of the conduct of the MP. Commissioner of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice has been lashing out at the MP and urged the special prosecutor to get to the bottom of this particular matter. Listen.
Well, we were not there, but we saw the media carried certain unsettling developments, particularly in Ayawaso West Wuogon, and it falls within the checklist that we use to monitor, and that is particularly. I'm not saying it is true. I know the member of parliament has denied it, but it's not right to treat the legal term, to share food, to share money to anybody in the queue in preparation to vote, because it is tantamount to corruption and an integrity issue. So having seen that could happen even to security officials, we have always assumed that would not be the case. It never happened in the past, but this time around, it seems it has happened. So we will factor that into our next election. When we monitor, we get the evidence. The evidence will now be presented with recommendations to the appropriate institution that has a duty to carry it out. In this case, special prosecutor has the role to play because of the particular allegations that are involved in this one. We're looking at corruption and corruption related. In the course of an election, this has been captured in our Criminal Offences Act. So we would have made referral to the office of the special prosecutor, or in the absence of the special prosecutor, to the Attorney General as a general criminal allegation. Actually, my worry is, or let me not say worry, mine was, when I looked at the video, it was more of an embarrassment, because security officials must be security conscious. How can you come to exercise your franchise and somebody gives you food which you don't even know where the food is coming from, and you take it and you are happy that it's okay to take it?
Joseph Wotale, Strach Commissioner, the anti-corruption campaign and convener of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Edem Senanu, says the MP and persons who received the items should have been picked up by the state authorities and investigated.
Ideally, the persons seen handing out, as well as those who should be persons of interest to the security forces, do an investigation. And if people need to be processed for court, that must happen. And so once there is footage showing the distribution, both those who are distributing as well as those who received, persons of interest. And I think that beyond what the OSP is saying, I'm wondering whether the Intersecurity Task Force cannot quickly move in to identify such persons.
Well, several more people have been, speaking on this particular matter, and CSOs have also joined in condemning what happened in Ayawaso West Wuogon there. And the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, Kojo, also says that conduct is reprehensible. Rhoda Oseaful is project manager at Kojo.
We've also had some observers reported, and we've been able to confirm with them some of the incidents that have come up in the media. Observers in some of the polling stations, I would say that it was not widespread based on the data that we have, but it's still worrying that looking at the caliber of people who were involved in this particular exercise, looking at the security personnel, looking at the media or journalists, looking at poll officials or election officials, for us to identify some of these incidents, such as snapping of photos of ballots, which sort of undermines the security of the ballot or one's ballot, is very worrying for us. We have had other issues about treating voters being served food or refreshments around polling station areas, and we believe that this is really unacceptable. And given that we still have a few days to go, what we make of this situation is very critical.
This is Top Story, and we have on the line Benjamin Avonocha. He's an aide and spokesperson for John Dumelo. We also have Bafor Jemfi, who is regional TESCON coordinator and an aide to Lydia Alhassan Say. We're joined by Vitus Azim as well. But in the last few hours, the camp of John Dumelo have petitioned the OSP to look into this particular matter. And my colleague Kweku Asante joins me with details. Kweku, before we get into this petition, though, we understand the OSP was, has taken some action on his own. Tell us more.
Well, yes, as of yesterday, investigators from the OSP did come to that polling station. They interviewed eyewitnesses. They spoke to a couple of people. This morning, the information we are getting from sources very close to that office say that that matter is still being investigated, and that the investigators who did come to the ground to gather the evidence will present a report to the special prosecutor himself, who will weigh in on the findings they made and ultimately will make a determination as to whether or not there is the need to open the full investigation by the office of the special prosecutor and then consequently take matters up to prosecute. But speaking about prosecution, there is this new petition that has been filed by Benjamin Avonyoche that you just introduced there to the special prosecutor. It says complaint of electoral malpractice against Miss Lydia Sarah Malhassan. And it reads, I wish to make a formal complaint against Miss Lydia Sarah Malhassan, the Honorable MP for the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency. I am the polling agent for Mr. John Dumelo, the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the constituency. Because of my duties, I was stationed at the Lagos District Police Station where the special voting in that constituency was taking place on 2nd December 2023. At about 1 p.m., while the special voting was going on, I saw Miss Lydia Sarah Malhassan and a handful of her supporters holding several white plastic bags with contents which were not readily known. Later, I saw her hand several of the plastic bags to several of the men and women who were in the queue to cast their ballots. Particularly, she handed the bag to each of the men and women and whispered into their ears. I later found that some of the bags contained goods which I believe were intended to influence the voters to cast their ballots in her favor. I have several video recordings of the conduct of Miss Lydia Sarah Malhassan and her followers handing the plastic bags to the voters. I have attached them to this complaint and I count on you to bring Miss Lydia Sarah Malhassan and her followers to book. Benjamin Avonyoche with this petition that has since been received by the OSP.
Interesting. And then Benjamin Avonyoche himself is with us on the line here. Grateful to you for joining us here, Ben. The MP has explained that she had no intention to induce the voters. You don't agree to her explanation that that was not her intent?
I absolutely do not agree with that because even when you saw her in the video, supervising and handing out those items, she denied it later when she spoke to the press. When she granted an interview to the press after the event, she said she wasn't even at the scene. So to say that she did not intend to induce voters with the items, why would you be handing items to voters, security officers, at the point of voting when they are in the queue about to receive their ballot papers? In fact, the first person who received the item was as close to where the presidential ballot papers were being issued. And we are all aware that it is an illegal action on her part to have done that. That is why we thought that, of course, the OSP's intelligence unit officers came to the grounds yesterday to do their own investigation, to ask questions here and there and all that. But it wasn't enough because we, wanted to make an official complaint to the office of the OSP and to demand of them to take an action, on the matter, because that was just a special voting that was ongoing yesterday. We do not know what would happen on the University campus on Saturday or in any other part of the constituency on Saturday when the general elections are concerned. So we were bringing this to their attention to, as a matter of importance, bring those who were seen in the video, including the MP herself, who later denied that she wasn't really at the scene.
So you want those who also took the items to be dealt with as well?
Of course. The truth of the matter is that the investigation would further reveal who and who had received the items, because these are security men. These are men in uniform, where some of them were in uniform when they are casting their vote. And she kept forcing these items, into their hands and speaking into their ears, like I mentioned in the petition and all that. That is not how a member of parliament who had served for the past years, if she had performed and had done what is expected of her for her constituents, should be behaving. And to the extent that these individuals were about receiving their ballot papers when such an action was ongoing, I mean, it's such
okay.
It's so unacceptable.
Okay.
And when the media, those who made the report on the grounds, later questioned her, she denied that she was not even understanding that she had come there in the morning and all that. Telling the character and the credibility of the individual who wants to become a member of parliament or who is currently a member of parliament for the constituency.
Okay, Ben, stay with me. Let me bring in Bafo Jemfi. He's an A2 leader at Hassan Serum. Bafo, grateful for joining us here. Why did your member of parliament decide to hand over food to people in the queue to go and vote when she is well aware that is against the law?
Good evening to your cherished listeners. I mean, this is a very big platform, and I think that as journalists, due diligence must be done in making sure that the questions are right. The first thing is, did you see the honorable member of parliament give out food items to anybody?
I saw her. I saw her in colored. I mean, this was not dotted. I saw her clearly that she was handing over food. Yes, I saw her.
You saw her handing over something. What did you see her hand over to anybody? Did
you see the video? Were you there?
I was there. I was there the entire time.
So you didn't see her hand over any food item to anybody? Like any politic to anyone?
All the videos you've shared on social media, there is none that shows that she was handing over any item to anybody.
Hey,
I'm surprised you are saying hey.
Now, are you being truthful that when you see that someone is handing items to people in the queue, and you're saying that all of us who watched it, we don't know what she was doing, that she was not handing over anything to anybody?
I want us to speak to the specifics, the very thing that you are saying she did. Which of the videos did you see her hand over anything to anybody? There's no such video. They are only alleging and making unfounded allegations because they feel that they are losing the elections. And so, for us, the member of parliament never handed anything to anybody in the queue. There is no video that is seen she handing over anything to anybody. It is not true. It is neither here nor there. Okay.
But hold on. You think that Joy News and Joy FM will put out things that we don't know it is true, and so we just report anything we get? Is that your thinking?
Video which shows the member of parliament has handed over something to anybody in the queue. There's none like that. There's none like that. There are videos that I've seen some women handing over something to people in the queue, but not the honorable member of parliament. There's no video that shows she herself was handing over a food item to anybody in the queue. It is not true. It is not true. Now,
and hold on, she didn't hand any polythene bag or anything to anybody in the queue, you say?
I've seen the videos from GH1, from Metro TV, from TV3, from Joy, and there is no video that shows that the member of parliament was handing over food item to anybody in the queue. In the queue. There's none like that. Don't forget.
Okay. Hold on there. So you are saying, even let's based on what you just said, that she didn't hand over any item to anybody in the queue. Did she hand over any items to anybody around the polling area?
No, that's is that what we are discussing? You said you have a video of her giving something to some people in the queue. Now you want to digress. You want to?
I'm not digressing. I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt. Now the video we have is Madam Serum Al Hassan wearing a blue jeans, a white top, and a blue cap, handing over items to people in the queue. And after she had done that, she took a bottle of water to drink. You are saying that this is not true?
It is not true. There is no video. There is no video. There's nothing like that. Check the video. The video you put out. Check the video. If you saw the member of parliament give things to people in the queue, nothing of that happened. It is not true.
I guess that, in doing politics, we should also do it with some level of sincerity. Now, you've seen a video of the MP, and if you say you were there, you will see clearly that this woman was handing over items to people, and then you say that that's not what she was doing, that she never did it.
You said the member of parliament was handing over things to people in the queue. Now, to people, which people? Was it me? You know me in person.
Security people, they are wearing their uniforms, and the woman is handing over things to them in the queue, please.
I have not found on any of those videos. The videos you put out, I have not seen any of them. It is not true. It is not true. Mind you, listen, the gentleman who is speaking on the other side said he's petitioned the special prosecutor over this whole thing. Even the date on the said petition is wrong. The date on the said petition is wrong. He said it happened 2nd December 2023. Are we in 2023? Did we have any special voting in 2023? I mean, let's get serious. We live in a very elite constituency. We have a member of parliament who has the heart of a mother. He accommodates each and everybody, even the candidate, the NDC parliamentary candidate.
I hope you are
use
not
the word stupid to describe the member of parliament. He even used the word stupid. You see, let us not digress. Let us stick to issues. The member of parliament never handed anything to anybody in the queue.
Okay, you've made your point that she never handed anything to anybody. The OSP will go into it. We'll see what exactly comes out of it. But Benjamin, what do you expect the special prosecutor to do now in this regard?
Of course, our demand on the special prosecutor, is to, invite the individuals who are involved, because you saw the video. Even the evidence of the video, the woman herself denied that she was not handing items to anybody and that she was not even at the scene at all. This is somebody who works with her, who is on radio, on a platform like Joy, denying what you keep questioning. You keep asking him whether he has seen what happened. He said nothing like that happened. These are the kind of individuals we are dealing with, and these are the people who want to represent the people of Ayawaso West Wuogon. The MP herself had denied, the same gentleman who is speaking now had denied that nothing of the sort happened. You have questioned him on many occasions. He's still insisting that what you saw, what your cameras captured, is not the truth. So the special prosecutor should invite the individuals that involved, including the MP herself, and to question them and to investigate the matter and bring them to book. Otherwise, people with such integrities, including the gentleman who is speaking, who has absolutely no integrity at all, will continue to exist in our politics. That even if you have video evidence to prove that an event had occurred, they can be on air and be denying same. That all of us, including you, we who have made the complaints, the voters in our constituency, the students, every individual who has seen this video is wrong except them. Is that how we do politics?
So you've petitioned the West, but you know that in the last primaries there were a lot of such videos that were sent to the office. We've heard little about them. What's your level of expectation of the OSP in this regard?
Of course, it is important that we bring matters of this nature to the attention of the state institutions. But one thing we can assure those the MPP and members of the Lydia Hassan campaign, including herself, is that since we have brought this matter to the attention of the OSP, we expect them to take an action immediately. Otherwise, they will leave room for an event on the grounds where we, if we consider the act that is unlawful, we would have to make sure that we stop it from going, because we actually expect that the OSP, together with his office, will take an action to put a stop to it. Because as I speak to you, there's still such event. What you saw in the video, you get to a university campus and you go into the community, she's still going about sharing all kinds of items.
Okay. As for that, because we don't have evidence, we cannot speak to it. But I'm grateful. We have that video running now on our social media platform on Joy 997 on Facebook. You can go and watch it for yourself now, and you can help in getting the discussion about this going. Let's bring in anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim into this discussion. I'm grateful to you, Ms. Azim, for joining us here. What do you make of this incident, and how does this come into the realm of vote buying for you?
Well, it's a cause of war for worry, because it's like an interlude to what is going to happen on Saturday. You see, in the past, they used to hide nearby the police stations and give money to people. But now, it has come with impunity where they just come. People are queuing up to vote, and you give them, you come and distribute parcels of food to people. I mean, it's so sad that we are doing this without any shame. And this is no longer democracy. It's monocracy. The only consolation is the fact that going into the toll booth for a book, toll booth with the ballot place with you, so you can still take the money and go and vote the way you want.
So what's your expectation of the OSP in this matter? Bearing in mind the fact that similar things happen in the primaries of both parties that we've heard little of. What's your expectation?
I actually don't expect much from the OSP, because you see, for example, it's not Accra. Ghana is not Accra. OSP doesn't have offices in the regions and the districts. It doesn't have enough staff to be distributed to the regions and the constituencies to monitor whatever is happening. So it's a warning to people that is wrong, they shouldn't do it. But I think that's all there is to it. You cannot do much.
I'm grateful to you, Vitus Azim, for joining us here. This has been Top Story, brought to you always by Telecell, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. Up next is Newsnight.
Everybody likes money, but what do we like more than money? More money! Join the Telecell More Money promo and win money, more money, and even more money. Simply opt in for free and reload your mobile and broadband and be the lucky winner of the 1 million Ghana cedis grand prize. Also win cash prizes of up to 3 million Ghana cedis in the daily and weekly draws. Opt in for free by dialing *500# or send WIN to 500, or you can opt in on the Telecell Play app. The more you reload, the higher chances of winning in the Telecell More Money promo. Keep loading, win, and be a millionaire.
Telecell, connecting energies.
Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me dana maga with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Dana kron kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Mapadi, so you still haven't gotten any job in the last 6 years?
Bro, I'm even getting depressed, Charlie. If you don't have any money to get trained in any skill, Charlie, you can't survive in this economy. Even those with big degrees are sitting at home.
There's good news coming. Have you heard of the National Apprenticeship Program?
National Apprenticeship Program?
Yes, John Mahama and the NDC will be launching a National Apprenticeship Program in 2025 to offer free technical and vocational training to all persons desirous of learning a craft.
Did you say free?
Yes, free technical and vocational training in carpentry, ceramics, welding, tiling, hairdressing, vulcanizers, fashion designing, electricals, POP, catering, and many others for young people who sign on to the program. People who complete the training will also be issued a certificate and provided with a startup capital and equipment to establish their own businesses.
Hey, you don't mean it.
You shock, eh? The National Apprenticeship Program is the hope of every unemployed Ghanaian.
Charlie, then we need to kick out these liars and nation wreckers and bring back JM. Cause Sanko Vayenchi.
Vote for change. Vote for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
Chamaro.
TV brother.
AKA the man who has all the filler in Ghana.
AKA
Yes. What are you celebrating?
Oh, I just checked the election results and my candidate is winning.
Are the results in already?
Oh, you don't know? It's all over social media. Look on my phone.
Mr. Easy, always showing up at the right time. So, has the final result of the elections been declared?
Not yet. For the presidential election, the whole country is seen as one constituency. Therefore, there is the need for all the results from all the polling stations to be added up before the chairperson of the Electoral Commission can declare the winner.
There are so many polling stations across the country. Do they all have to send their results to the EC chairperson?
No. The results from the polling stations in the constituency are added up, and then the winner for that constituency is announced. The results on the prescribed forms are then forwarded to the district electoral officer.
I bet these are just the first set of results.
Yes. The district electoral officer then forwards the results from all constituency to the regional collation center. The regional collation officer will also add up the constituency results from all the districts within that region and announce the winner for that region. The results from each region are then forwarded to the head office of the Electoral Commission on the prescribed forms.
Step by step.
At the head office, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, in the presence of accredited agents and stakeholders, simply adds up the results from all 16 regions in order to arrive at the winner for the presidential election.
Then the best thing will be to wait for the official results. Yes, aka Jimmy Braggart. You must trust the process.
Remember, at every stage, from polling station to constituency, regional, and the national collation centers, political party agents are present and they check and sign the results and are given copies of the pink sheets. Where they have doubts, they ask for a recount and sign. There is no way the results can be changed or cooked at any level or by the EC. Everything is done in full glare of everybody, party agents, media, and observer groups. So it is a lie if someone tells you that the Electoral Commission can change the results. Elections are won or lost at the polling station, so party agents should check before they sign. As the chairperson in the case of the presidential election will only declare what is brought before her.
This is part of the process towards conducting a free, fair, and transparent election by the Electoral Commission.
Aha! Now we know the truth. We won't fall for the lies anymore. Yes. Where are you running to? Yes.
Electoral Commission of Ghana. Transparency and accountability in motion.
Four days more for Ghana to decide. Hashtag Stop Galamsey now still on. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. Tonight, ongoing parliamentary impasse hits hard at the economy as Finance Minister reviews its chances of accessing millions of dollars from the World Bank and restructuring of critical debt in the energy sector hang in the balance.
Therefore, to say that the economy has not been affected by the impasse is to treat it mildly. It has. For example, we should have passed certain legislation that would have qualified us to receive $300 million from the World Bank.
We'll bring you the very latest as Ghana's engagement with the IMF and its implications for the economy lingers.
The testament by the IMF demonstrates the continuous confidence the international community has in the Ghanaian economy.
Also, we have moved from taxation to robbery. That's according to anti-corruption crusader and former Auditor General Daniel Domelovo, as he proposes changes to the constitution, including tightening the procurement laws to halt illicit financial flows.
Promise that this country is moving from taxation to production, is that not it? But we move from taxation to robbery. After all this, if you look at the use to which they put the money, that is my biggest challenge.
We have details as he urges anti-corruption agencies to remain vigilant, warning that many institutions engage in unnecessary end-of-year procurement, often lacking value for money.
The biggest problem in the public sector is that type of procurement which happens not because they need the thing, but because the financial year is coming to an end.
Also tonight, anti-corruption agencies combined forces to condemn vote-buying incidents recorded in the special voting, urging all citizens to exercise their right to vote responsibly, reject inducement, and hold political actors accountable. We hit the campaign trail, and John Mahama has been refuting claims linking him to an attack on the convoy of Yesantehene in Techiman. Details as it dismisses a circulating video as fake and a deliberate attempt to damage his reputation.
be a friend of fake news. I no pay me sorry ya mahuba. I had me picture atari home. Ekeka and send me in home. Nina so seat of government in Mhubi. Yes, me makofa and for the be what teaching man so to abo and bo otumfo. Campaign not to munti. Akamo and truly.
Details as Ghana Police Service launches urgent probe into the alleged attack on Asantehene Otumfo Seitu's convoy in Techiman, plus hits the camp of the NPP as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wraps up his constituency-based campaign.
In business, Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam points to latest IMF verdict on the economy, a sign that it has indeed fully recovered.
And in sports, Ghana's Black Maidens intensify their preparations for the WAFU B Under-17 Girls Tournament with 3 crucial friendlies lined up in the coming days, including a match-up against Women's Premier League side, Epiphany Warriors.
Also tonight, Shraj calls for inclusion of persons with disabilities in governance and improve accessibility for voting as Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark International Day of Persons with Disabilities.
On the second floor. And you have to climb up by stairs to go and exercise your franchise. What have you made in terms of wheelchair-based persons?
That and more in tonight's edition of Newsnight. Please do all to join us with your thoughts, your comments via WhatsApp is 055-1111-997. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We're on myjoyonline.com, X Spaces, also on Facebook. You can hit us with the hashtag Newsnight. I am Emefa Apawu. Details shortly. Many thanks for sticking with us. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. We start off from the economy, and the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, has today been giving updates on the state of Ghana's economy, and he's reviewed that the ongoing stalemate in Parliament is hitting hard at the economy. There've been a parliamentary deadlock for more than a month after Speaker Alban Bagbin declined a request by the majority to reconvene the House before the election. Now, we know that the House will be reconvened on the 16th of December after the election. Briefing journalists during the monthly economic update, the Finance Minister said its chances of accessing some funds from the World Bank has hit a snag.
Then on the standoff in Parliament, certainly when Parliament is not functioning, it affects the government, it affects the people of Ghana. I mean, we are a Parliament that is elected by the people of Ghana to represent them. And so when there's an impasse, it means that the people don't have representation because the work of Parliament is halted. Therefore, to say that the economy has not been affected by the impasse is to treat it mildly. It has. For example, we should have passed certain legislation that would have qualified us to receive $300 million from the World Bank. The World Bank has not disbursed the money because those bills have not been passed into law because Parliament is not working as it should. And so this is just one example of how the impasse in Parliament has affected the management of the economy. But in spite of that, as I said earlier, we have stayed the course, the economy is strong, we are within the budget, and we will make sure that we achieve the fiscal objectives for the year, the budget year.
He also adds that restructuring of debt owed independent power producers have also stalled as a result of the parliamentary standoff.
Growth has already moved towards the pre-COVID trajectory, and all indicators really will follow with the sustained implementation of the good policies that we are pursuing. Then you are talking about IPPs, their restructuring, the status of it. Yes, we concluded negotiation with them, and some of them have signed off. For example, AXA has signed off, and we are implementing the restructured IPP, PPA. Asogli also is about to sign off. The Senate has signed off. What is outstanding is the one with Sen Power and Amandi, because they are required to go to Parliament for parliamentary approval. And we all know the story about Parliament. And so until Parliament returns and approves those two PPAs, they will remain outstanding. Meanwhile, government has met our side of the obligation. We have made our obligation. We have paid the one-off payments we're supposed to make to them. We have done everything. We haven't missed on a dollar. And so while we wait for Parliament to approve those restructured PPAs, I can say that we have been very religious with our side of the bargain. So this is the status I can provide on the IPP debt restructuring.
Well, the finance minister also indicates that the government has placed the economy on a sound footing for further growth.
Has not yet released the Q3 GDP data for the year. Data from the Bank of Ghana shows GDP growth was still robust in the third quarter, with the composite index of economic activity, CIEA, recording a growth of 2.8% for Q3 of 2024. This is a strong rebound from the contraction of 2.4% observed during the same period in 2023. And so this gives us a sense that growth is going to do pretty well in Q3. We have outperformed the inflation target set under the program. Inflation has continued to decline from a peak of 54.1% in December 2022 to 22.1% in October 2024. Influenced by reductions in both food and non-food inflation. We've also made significant progress in our fiscal consolidation efforts, thereby improving the primary balance on commitment basis by 4 percentage points from a deficit of 4.3% of GDP in 2022 to 0.3% in 2023. And we are on course to improving the primary balance further to a modest surplus of 0.5% of GDP by the close of the year.
Well, George Uafi will bring us more from this particular update today, but he provides an update on the third IMF review and what it means to the economy. Listen to the finance minister.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has successfully concluded another IMF review, the third review, coming after the successful reviews of the first review and the second review, which are indicative of the fact that Ghana has been performing well as far as fiscal management, as far as economic management. The testament by the IMF demonstrates the continuous confidence the international community has in the Ghanaian economy. And we will continue to ensure that we do not drill from the program. You also know that the government of Ghana recently completed a debt exchange with our Eurobond investors as part of the external debt restructuring exercise. 15 outstanding Eurobonds were exchanged into 5 new Eurobonds, each with unique financial terms to suit various categories of investors. The reduction in the face value of the Eurobond had a significant impact on the debt stock of October 2024, as well as the debt to GDP ratio. In Ghana cedi terms, the public and publicly guaranteed debt value was reduced by 46.8 billion Ghana cedis from 807.79 billion Ghana cedis in September to 761.01 billion Ghana cedis in October 2024. So between September and October, we saw such a significant reduction in our debt stock by 46.8 billion Ghana cedis.
So that's Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam. Well, thankfully, we've been joined on the phone by Professor Godfred Bokping, Professor of Finance. We're grateful for your time here on Newsnight. So it outlines some key notable achievements that I would want to walk you through. 7 of them. Starts by talking about a strong recovery with growth averaging 5.8% for the first half of 2024, which he says is the highest recorded in the last 5 years. Inflation, he says, is trending downwards. The cedi is gaining strength. It talks about in the election year, they've been able to maintain fiscal discipline, even with all the massive infrastructure project that we are seeing with the commissioning by the president. He talks about completing debt restructuring program, both domestic and external, and then also talks about strong external sector balances and improved gross international reserves significantly. From what you know, does it align specifically with what you're hearing? I know you are heavy on fiscal discipline in an election year.
Yeah, thank you very much, Emefa, and good evening to our cherished listeners. Well, I think that, yes, on one breath, we are with the minister in terms of the fact that some progress have been made, think the progress is not significant enough actually to call for celebration. If you look at where we have come from, if you look at the hardship, if you look at the price that we have to pay for this relative stability, I think that it looks too average to celebrate. That is how I will put it. Then again, we should also be mindful that these macro aggregate numbers are actually not impacting Ghanaians directly. Okay, so we are not at the point where this macro level development would actually impact your personal economy and all of that. Without even going into the specifics, you cannot say that the economy has actually recovered to pre-pandemic level because it doesn't meet those thresholds specifically. And then also, Emefa, let's go into the specifics. When you look at inflation, right? So you realize that when you isolate the IMF honeymoon effect, you realize that we actually stuck with the program right now. Since November 2023, when inflation decelerated to the 20s, our inflation has been stubbornly stuck around 20%. In fact, actually between November 2023 and October 2024, not much progress has made in terms of bringing inflation down. Because inflation in November 2023, 26.4%, December 2023, 23.2%, and October 2024, inflation is 22.1%. So you realize that inflation has stubbornly stuck around the early 20s, right? So, and that doesn't demonstrate that we have made progress actually in the last 8 months in adding value, actually, or improving the lives of Ghanaians. Then look at the other interesting thing. If you look at pre-pandemic data, so if the minister says that the economy has recovered to pre-pandemic level, if you look at inflation, food inflation at pre-pandemic level was very low. And food inflation was actually quite low, even though average inflation December 2019 was 7.9%. Food inflation was very low. But look at the interesting thing. From November 2023, you realize that local inflation, locally produced inflation, trended higher or above imported inflation. Until November 2023, that wasn't the case. So which also tells you that the IMF fiscal adjustment manifesting a higher cost of doing business, okay, is feeding through price development. And therefore, it's more expensive producing in Ghana right now than actually importing. That is the data. We cannot say this is recovery that is people focused. Okay, so and then again, we talk about growth. Okay, first quarter growth, second quarter growth, and even third quarter growth, even if it's robust.
And for him, it's averaging 5.8%, he says, the highest we've recorded in the last 5 years.
In fact, it's below pre-pandemic. The average GDP growth that the NPP itself celebrated before COVID-19 was around 6.5%, 6.9%. So we are not there yet. Of course, we are in a hurry to tell the people that we have done so well, but this is not impacting the economy of the people.
At what point? Because that's the point that I'm sure many of us are interested in. At what point would it start impacting, at least for me to feel it in my pocket to see that indeed this is where we are when it comes to the achievements that we're talking about?
Inflation must come down to below 10%.
Okay.
We are not there yet. And right now we are struggling. So if you can see that we're actually stuck with the IMF program, with inflation now, the question is, how do we bring it down below 20s, right? That is the challenge now. And with all the policies that Bank of Ghana has put in place in mopping up excess liquidity, tiered cash reserve requirements and all of that, inflation has probably stuck around 22.1% and all of that. So it tells you that there's a lot that we have to do. Then look at the disaggregation. That locally produced inflation is higher than imported inflation. There are challenges within our economy that we need to address. And those are the things that we should look at. Then again, the minister should also tell us this recovery, how many people has this recovery lifted out of poverty? Okay, and if you look at the data, this crisis has impacted the middle class much more than even the core poor. So lower middle income poverty, upper middle income poverty are all rising. And the middle income group, they are the cushion in society. They are like Liverpool. They never walk alone. Their salary is not for them alone. So once crisis impacts their balance sheets, then it means that the cushion they offer to the core poor is also weakened.
Well, so, I would want to also get your verdict in wrapping up also on the fiscal discipline in an election year. Like I said, you've always been very, very heavy on it. You've heard the finance minister talk about the fact that they've been able to maintain that fiscal discipline that we've all been cautioning about in spite of all the commissioning that we're seeing.
Yes. So on that score, they've done quite well. But you know what? This is not born out of love. Government has been priced out of the Eurobond market. From the domestic market, they can't borrow. Even in the treasury bill market, they are failing to meet their target. So the incentive to actually overspend is constrained. Okay? And then again, with the IMF program and all of that. So I think that so many factors are helping them to be fiscally disciplined, not born out of love. It's a necessity now. That is where we find ourselves. But let's bear in mind that the suffering Ghanaians are going through, this recovery, this stability is yet to impact them positively.
Okay, we are grateful. And that's Professor Godfred Bokping there. His immediate reaction to that update that was given by the finance minister earlier today. Of course, a number of achievements that the finance ministry points to in terms of on the macroeconomic front for the year 2024, which he says includes but not limited to what I've been outlining: inflation seeing a downward trend, the CD also gaining strength, also the strong economic growth amongst others, and maintaining fiscal discipline. And like I said, Joy News editor, Joy Business editor George Riafe will join us shortly with more from that update and what we are seeing in terms of the gains that the finance minister talks about that has been made on the economic front. Well, let's move on to some other stories now. We've moved from taxation to robbery. That's according to anti-corruption crusader and former Auditor General Daniel Domelevo, as he calls for sweeping constitutional reforms, including stricter procurement laws to curb illicit financial flow. Mr. Domelevo equated the misappropriation of public funds to daylight robbery, emphasizing that corruption and financial mismanagement make the nation vulnerable to these illicit financial inflows and outflows. He made these remarks at an event in Accra focused on curbing illicit financial flows in Ghana.
I think it is time to encourage all of us to fight illicit financial flows as well as corruption in general. Today, there is a lot of gaslighting. The very people who are squeezing all the resources out of us look at you and say you are not praising, you are not even being grateful for the harm I'm committing you. Recently, I remarked that we were promised that this country is moving from taxation to production. Is that not it? But we move from taxation to robbery. Now, even if money is in your pocket, government is aiming at it. You put your savings there and government is aiming at it. You go and buy treasury bills. If you don't take time, it may go after the bonds, etc. have gone. Even when you are paying government, you pay tax. I hope you are aware of that. And that is as if it's not enough. To me, what pains me is, after all this, if you look at the use to which they put the money, that is my biggest challenge. Illicit financial flows, which comes in a multifaceted manner. It has different causes. I would like to say that we also have to be multifaceted in the solution. And the first thing I think we must try and do as a country is to have an effective and efficient public financial management system.
Well, he also revealed that many public institutions engage in unnecessary end-of-year procurement, often lacking value for money. He's pushing for stricter and harsher punishment, especially for public officials not declaring their assets as well.
The biggest problem in the public sector is that type of procurement, which happens not because they need the thing, but because the financial year is coming to an end. They say, if you don't blow the money, finance will not give you next year. So you must blow the money. So they buy things they don't need. So many ministries and departments and agencies. You yourself, you have seen them. Haven't you seen cars bought and parked? Haven't you seen government buildings even standing, not used? So where's the value for money? I think there must be a deliberate policy to look again at our procurement law to ensure it provides value for money, not in terms of only cities. The entire cycle of job creation must be looked at. Otherwise, I don't think our definition of value for money is good enough. It is significant to mention that Article 35(8) of the 1992 Constitution says the state shall take measures to eliminate corrupt practices and abuse of office. And in my candid opinion, the state has not only failed to meet this responsibility, but the state has itself been perpetrating corruption and corruption-related activities.
That's former Auditor General, anti-corruption campaigner Daniel Yao Domalovu there speaking at an event in Accra focused on curbing illicit financial flows in Ghana. We'll touch a bit more on the story that we've been talking about on Top Story a while ago on the vote buying incident recorded during the special voting exercise. We've been hearing from the Commissioner of Straj. We've been hearing from anti-corruption crusaders on this particular matter. In the last few minutes also, we are hearing from the anti-corruption crusaders, at least, and the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, the Ghana Integrity Initiative and CDD Ghana, all joining forces to condemn the flagrant violation of electoral laws by political parties. And they've said they've taken notice of people actually, violating the PNDC law 1992 and 284 by the two leading political parties, NDC and NPP, and condemning the conduct of sharing cooked food, bags of rice and cooking oil to prospective voters without any equivocation. And they say the loss notwithstanding, evidence gathered from media reports shows representatives of the two leading political parties openly treating prospective voters in several constituencies mentioned, they say, can be made of Okaikwe South. It is alleged that NDC's Ernest Adumako offered electorates chicken, money and bags of rice, which was posted on social media on the 1st of December 2024. And this is the NDC's candidate for Kaikwe South, Ernest Adumako. And they talk about the Ayawaso West Wuogon situation involving Lydia Sayra Malasan, also reportedly distributing, food to some security guards, and also distributed oil and bags of rice to Legon security guards, which was also posted on social media on 27th November 2024. Also talks about various reports also allege that packs of food were distributed to voters in queues during special voting on the 2nd of December by the same MP for Ayawaso West Wuogon, even though her handlers are denying that any such incident occurred at that polling station, which was witnessed by a number of media personnel that were present. Then they continue to say, while there is the need for investigations by the competent authorities to establish the validity of the allegations and media reports, it's important to alert the political parties involved and the general public that these perceived violations, when substantiated, will undermine the principles of fairness, transparency and accountability essential for a free and fair elections. It goes on to say it is instructive to caution the political parties involved that Ghanaians are watching with bated breath which one of them will cry foul if the outcome of the elections does not go their way, since they are both doubling in activities that are undermining the integrity of the election. As the saying goes, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands, or in other words, a person who claims equity must be free from any taint or fraud with respect to that claim. These are portions of that statement signed by the Ghana Integrity Initiative, the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, and the Ghana Center for Democratic Development. We'll return from business, then we hit the campaign trail. We've been hearing from the former president, John Dramani Mahama, refuting allegations of some fake videos that are making the rounds, amongst others, as he paid a courtesy call on the Asantehene Otumfuo Sei to the second. We'll also hear from the President Akufo-Addo interacting with Labour on some strides that have been made, attributing it to the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. You want to stay for details of that and more here on Newsnight. George, what do we have in business?
Well, Emefa, we still have something coming from the Minister of Finance. It's a press conference where he's pointing to the verdict by the IMF on the economy, insisting that it shows that the economy has fully recovered. He believes that the IMF is an independent institution and therefore we can rely on their verdict on the economy. And also the IMF, again, is charging the government to focus on those policy reforms that has brought the country this far so that we can achieve that full recovery as an economy. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business.
My man, I heard there's a new app on the streets that does it all for you.
Ah, really? How is that possible?
Charlie, I also could not believe it too. But I downloaded the app and I'm telling you, I was able to chat with my friends, make video calls and...
Well, we know of many apps that can do that.
Oh, let me finish la. I was also able to listen to the latest songs, play games and read the latest sports news.
For real?
Yeah, and I can send and receive money from the app. Amazing, no?
What's the name of this app?
It's called Ayoba.
Ayoba?
Yeah, Ayoba.
Get Ayoba, your all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, share, play, pay, and listen to music all in one app for everyone. Enjoy Ayoba with MTN and download the Ayoba app today. Everywhere you go.
Hooray! The Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited is organizing its end-of-year furniture promotional sales from the 15th of November to the 31st of December this year. Kingdom Books and Stationery is giving away a whopping 10 to 15% discount on all furniture at our furniture shops. Head office, Akweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema, Comte 4, Takrady, opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast, University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic, Centerpoint Mall, Winneba, University Campus, KNUSD, the University Bookshop, Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit and shop online at www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764101 or email us at info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
Dear Chato, a son say a bushing on your son continue. You can say ye pepsodent, ye didn't also a can your money home.
Hey, wohu, we could hear wo, no he wole, was sure, nana no ne, whatever.
Hey, Ampo, Odinda so, Imamenae, dear.
One so bet to me to ding out to President Busia Park no so. But we busia se who buy more who do. For we need to to a bear will not come to President Busia Park. Every year, check the incarto yet to move.
From the classroom to the lab, from the village to the city, the NPP's commitment to education is building a brighter Ghana. Free SHS isn't just about free tuition, it's an investment in Ghana's future. We have topped it up with free TVET and STEM education, skilled graduates, innovative thinkers, and a thriving economy. That's the promise of free SHS.
3 of my cousins have benefited from free SHS since 2017. One has graduated and is in nursing training. The other 2 are also in the university. I'll vote number 1. I'll vote for Baumia on December 7th.
We are building a better tomorrow through education. Vote NPP. Vote number 1. Vote Baumia. Baumia means business. Estro.
You welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam has maintained that the IMF's latest verdict on the economy shows that it has fully recovered. The IMF, in its report on Ghana, described the country's program performance as satisfactory and yielding the desired results. Now, this influenced the disbursement of some $360 million that should hit Bank of Ghana's account before Friday, that is this week. Now, speaking at the monthly economic update, the minister added that they are committed to those fiscal measures that has brought Ghana this far.
It is instructive to mention that while the nominal size of the Ghanaian economy was $56 billion in 2016, by the end of 2023, the nominal size increased to $7 billion. This represents an increase of $20 billion over 7 years. This figure is expected to be more by the end of 2024, when the Ghana Statistical Service puts out the end year data. It's taken us a lot of effort to bring this economy back to this state. Many people lost hope that this economy will recover. But I want to assure the people of Ghana, particularly those who have lost money, that this recovery is not by accident.
Well, the finance minister has also been responding to recent court action by a private legal practitioner which sought to stop government from issuing treasury bills unless it secures parliament's approval.
Then are we worried somebody has taken the government to court? Certainly, this is a democratic country, and people, when they exercise their right, others should not be worried. We are all doing this in service for our motherland. The government certainly will respond appropriately in court.
And that is the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam. IMF has reminded government that full macroeconomic stability will hinges on implementing those reforms before and after the general elections. This advice was captured in the IMF statement issued after it met to review Ghana's performance under the IMF program. There is more in this report.
The IMF in a statement maintained that these ambitious structural reforms will not only help quickly achieve the much talked about stability, but also improve the business environment for the private sector. This will also help in creating the necessary environment for job creation in the country. Government is also being asked to enhance revenue mobilization by improving tax administration. These reforms should also look at how to strengthen expenditure controls and management of arrears. The IMF also believes that if government sticks to these policy measures, it will ensure that the country will stay on course when it comes to the IMF program, as well as the expected turnaround of the economy. That will go a long way to impact positively on the livelihood of Ghanaians.
And that is a Business Desk report. Now, the price of the Ghana gold coin has slowed to new levels. Now, the Bank of Ghana is today selling a quarter of an ounce at 11,149 Ghana. So the move is being linked to the current recovery of the local currency against the dollar, since what the Bank of Ghana sells to us locally is based on the previous price closed in London when it comes to the bullion quotes that is offered by the Association of Bullion Gold Operators in London. The central bank last week started selling the coin after the necessary arrangement was finalized by the Bank of Ghana. Advisor at the Bank of Ghana, Stephen Upata, says measures have been instituted to ensure that only those who are entitled get access to the Ghana gold coin locally.
Deploy this coin through our 23 banks, and then customers of these banks can go and purchase the coin from there after we've gone through the regular KYC, know your customer process that you do when you go to a bank. So you must have a relationship with a bank. And the reason why we want to do that is that we want to avoid people who are not supposed to have this coin to have it. Like people, money launderers, and people who are involved in activities that we don't think are financially stable. We wouldn't want them to have the coin. So you must have a relationship with a bank, whether you are Ghanaian or not Ghanaian.
An advisor at the Bank of Ghana, that is Steve Upata, and Emefa, the Ghana gold coin. It's available. You can walk to any of your commercial bank, and a quarter of an ounce is going for 11,149 Ghana cedis. So that's a quarter of an ounce Ghana gold coin,
Small,
and that's the
like that.
but it's 100% or 99% pure gold. So you can walk to your commercial bank, and then more often avenue to invest, and hedge.
We're a few days away from Christmas, right? Can you buy
so
me
this is the time rather that you
Christmas present.
Well, let's see what you can do. Well, before to the Ghana cedi. I mean, for the forex bureaus, they're selling it to you at 16 Ghana cedis, 30 pesos. But the commercial banks, on the other hand, is going for 15 Ghana cedis, 30 pesos. That is for $1 when it comes to these commercial banks. Let's turn our attention to the Ghana Stock Exchange, and MTN was the only mover at the end of trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Each share was up by a pesewa and is now worth 2 Ghana cedis, 38 pesewas. And that's all for business on Newsnight, as Emefa searches for the Ghana gold coin as a Christmas gift.
Yes, I would love that a lot. Thank you,
Okay.
George Riafe, with the latest from the world of business. And you know that today is Persons with Disability Day, right? And we are joining the world in marking this day. We've been hearing from the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. They've called for the inclusion of persons with disabilities in governance and public decision-making processes. Shraj emphasizes the importance of building an inclusive society where the voices of PWDs are heard and respected at all levels of governance. My colleague Kenneth Jesse has more in the following report.
As Ghana prepares for its upcoming general elections, Shraj Commissioner Dr. Joseph Whittle has called on the Electoral Commission to take proactive steps to ensure accessibility for persons with disabilities at polling stations.
Disabled persons, are we in a position to understand the placement of the ballot box? Does it give an opportunity to every person to reach and utilize it? If you go and put the ballot box on a second floor and you have to climb up by stairs to go and exercise your franchise, what have you made in terms of wheelchair-based persons or persons who are, not able to see?
He highlighted the need for deliberate policies and practices to integrate persons with disabilities into decision-making processes, stressing that their perspectives and experiences are critical for crafting effective and equitable policies.
What the statement, of course, it relates to your question. What the statement seeks to draw attention to is, one, are we satisfied that we are living 8% of our population behind when it comes to inclusive leadership? Because that is what the Ghana Statistical Service found in the 2021 census.
The call by Shraj is part of a broader effort to address systemic inequalities faced by persons with disabilities in Ghana.
And that's Kenneth Jesse's report there on persons with disabilities as we mark the day today. It's time for sports. Musbao, what do we have?
Well, for the Black Maidens, they are gearing up for the Wafu B Under 17 Girls Tournament with 3 friendlies be lined up for them, with the games scheduled to be played at the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence. The first match is going to be against Roots Sisters on Wednesday, December 4, and that will be followed by Epiphany Warriors on Friday, December 6, and they'll wrap up the preparation on December 8 against Sisamba Ladies on Sunday. Now, the head coach is Coach Joe Nana Adakwa, and he's looking to fine-tune his team's preparation for the tournament, which is set to take place from December 12 to 26 at the same venue in Pram. Well, Ghana will be hosting the maiden edition of the tournament, and the Black Maidens have been paired alongside Benin and Burkina Faso in Group A, and are looking forward to make good use of these friendlies as they prepare for the competition. Well, to the Ghana Football Association now, and former Minister of Youth and Sports Nilante Vanderpoel has torn into the Ghana Football Association, saying that their management of the Black Stars is accounting for the poor performance of the team. According to him, he says even if Pep Guardiola comes to manage the Black Stars with the current individuals at the helms of the Ghana Football Association, there is no way that Pep Guardiola will succeed with the Black Stars.
You qualify for World Cup. You qualify for a Cup of Nations. No, we are not going to Cup of Nations.
If I were sports minister, I will disband the GFA. We are not going to be at the Africa Cup of Nations. FIFA will suspend us for 6 months, and we'll use that period to put things in order. So we build a team for the next AFCON qualifiers. Let's ask ourselves, why should we always sit and allow the GFA sack the coach when the Black Stars fail? What is going on in Ghana football? If you hire Pep Guardiola or any top coach and we don't change the structure, we will still fail. We have created a structure where the players of one person are playing for the Black Stars.
That's Nielante Vanderpoy on the Ghana Football Association. Emefa, can he dissolve the GFA? Can he do it?
That's I am from.
Yeah, because I am from.
Yeah.
That's a
Thank you very much, Ms. Bao. Thank you for the latest from the world of sports. Now, a big announcement was made towards this particular month, and I must say that we are 3 days into that particular announcement. I'm talking about the rollout of the nationwide free dialysis treatment that was announced both by the Vice President and, of course, also by the National Health Insurance Authority. We've been engaging extensively on this matter, but at least let's get some updates since that rollout started on the 1st of December. And thankfully, we've been joining the studios by the CEO of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Dacosta Boaji. We are grateful for your time here on Newsnight.
Thank you, Emefa.
I bet you must have been busy with this particular rollout. Let's get updates on it. How has it been so far? We're 3 days into it.
Thank you, Emefa. It's going smooth. What we did was we wanted to get it right. So we placed 2 of our staffs in all the centers that we selected. Initially, we came up with 40 centers, but on assessment, we noted that only 20 were ready, and they have started without any problems. So our staff are also there to help them and I was at Kolebu yesterday to monitor for myself what was obviously happening. Everything is going on well, and there's excitement within the patients and their families, and also within Ghana.
Okay, well, the key concern, at least when the announcement was made, at least from our checks with a few of the hospitals, at least Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, they raised concerns about the dialysis machine and hoping that they could get support in terms of augmenting what they had at the time. You mentioned some time back that you were trying to procure, amongst others. Do we have the machines now? Okay,
thank you. So during the pilot, we noted that as a challenge, so we tried to address it. So in consultation with World Bank, we have procured 45 of these machines. 7 have actually been installed at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. 23 are currently being cleared. 15 have actually been ordered and is on the way. So each of these machines, also the 15 of these machines comes with 2,000 set of consumables. So for the 45, it comes with 6,000 set of consumables. And for this reason, we believe that we will be able to give each of the piloted hospitals, those hospitals that we use for the pilot, we'll be able to give them some machines very soon. But you see, government do have a comprehensive plan. Now, what we're doing is that already we fund acute renal disease. Now, we are saying that you have to look at it holistically. And doing that means that we have to introduce what we call the preventive promotive health care. So because most of these kidney diseases emanate from hypertension, diabetes. So we have introduced what we call the annual health check, where every Ghanaian is being given the opportunity on their month of birth at any health facility of their choice to do basic BP, sugar, and BMI checks. You can also have this access virtually. So the comfort of your home, a consultant or a doctor in any of the credential facilities, then they will obviously respond to you via telehealth, like electronically. And your medications, should you need it, will also be delivered to you at your home. So that's one leg of it. Government is also saying that for this dialysis to be obviously to be effective, all the Agenda 111, most of them will have the renal units. So we will equip it with modern dialysis machines, such that people will not have to travel from their districts to Kumasi, Accra, or Takoradi. So we will expand the dialysis centers across the country.
And of course, we know that the Agenda 101 projects are not completed yet. So that's for the future. But as we speak, which facilities, for instance, for those listening that are credentialed by the NHIA, that at least they can visit? We have a number of them. I'm sure that we can quickly go through them.
So I think what we've done is we've segregated it across the country.
Okay.
We have Ashanti region. We have 3 facilities. We have the Heart Adventist Hospital, Komfanoche Teaching Hospital, we have the First Care Hospital, we have Bruno, we have Holy Family Hospital, we have Central Region, we have Ogwa, that's Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, we have Eastern Region, we have Eastern Regional Hospital, we have Greater Accra, we have Kolebu 37, Accra Newtown Islamic Hospital, Police Hospital, the Trust Premium Center, we have Rich Hospital. In Tema, we have the International Maritime Hospital. In the Northern Region, we have Tamale Teaching Hospital. In Upper East, we have Regional Hospital, Bolega, Tanga. We have Upper West, we have Upper West Regional Hospital. Volta Region, we have Ho Teaching Hospital and Volta Regional Hospital, Hohoi. Then we have Western, we have Efian Kwanta Regional Hospital. Then we have Takrade, which is again Western. We have Takrade Hospital. So those are the 20. But let me say that, you see, implementation is a process. It's not an end to itself. So what we will do is we'll continue to add on. In fact, we'll be working with the private facilities. So we've written to the bank hospital. We've written to some private facilities to also come on board.
So at some point, we would include private facilities as well. Well, the issue about sustainability has been raised. We've talked about cost. You've talked about rolling out and giving some 200 million CDs already in terms of payment. But sustainability is the concern for many. How are we hoping to sustain this?
Okay, so we have modeled this for the next 10 years and it is sustainable on the NHIS benefit package. So let me again inform Ghanaians that once we have added it permanently on our benefit package, no one can take it off. And it is within our mandate to do that with the minister, and we have done that. Now, the sources of funding to sustain this. See, our budget keeps growing, so we know that for every year we are expanding by 2 billion because taxes are performing. So currently our 2025 budget is projected to be about 8.5 billion from the 6.8 billion. Now that's the first leg. We looked at internally. You see, we've invested in a lot of digital innovations, so the infrastructure is there. So we intend to reduce our IT infrastructure to pump the money into our benefit package or claims. So that's the second leg. And we also intend to invest our corporate social responsibility budget to support this. That's the second leg. The third one is that at the moment we are capped at 20. But if you look at both parties, MPP, NDC, their manifestos are saying that they are going to uncap at 100%, which means that regardless of what's happening, 20% more funds will be coming in. So when you do the mathematics, it's 20 over 100 times our current budget, which is 6.8 billion. It means 1.36 billion more funds will be coming in. And like I said, we've modeled it. We only need between 20 to 57 million for this exercise annually. And if you look at all these monies that we are mentioning, then it means that we will have money to do. But let me also say this. You see, our 2024 budget, the 6.8 that was given to half was for claims payment. At the moment, it is being underutilized. And I can confirm here that NHIS do have a debt-free claim status.
We've paid all
claims. We've paid all facilities. The last one that the submitted ones were the ones that I released the 200 million for. And all these 20 facilities that we selected, anyone that we owe, we've given them the money. Even if they've not received it, it is on the way because I've signed it and it is on the platform and they are paying because it's huge. So normally they do it in bits. So we are making sure that by 2024, ending December, we continue to maintain a debt-free NHIS claims payments.
Okay, but the concern is if it's so doable, I'm talking about the free dialysis, why did we wait up until now? Why now? Is it because of the elections?
Emefa, see, you know me. I came in not too long ago. When we started this, I mean, I did not even think of any political distance, so it has no political correlation. The only thing is that, you see, it's the government that is in it. I'm part of the government. So regardless of what happens, and let me say, this was initiated by Dr. Bawumia, because immediately when I came into office, the first conversation we had was, Doctor, address the dialysis issues. And we needed data. That is why we started with the pilot. I know I can even say that this conversation started with Joy FM. Then we were looking. There was no data. And let us not also look at it in such a way that obviously the kidney disease started now. No, it started long ago. So before you can do this, you need data. So we use the pilot to gather the data. And that is why we were able to do the modeling using the prevalence rates in the country. And now we can confirm that we will be able to fund it fully without any problems.
And this is not a 9-day wonder.
No. We have added it to our benefit package permanently. And it will be on there permanently.
Okay, we are grateful. That's the CEO of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Docosta Abuaji. We are indeed grateful for your time here on Newsnight. And on to some other stories. Rail bars connecting the Achimota and Saum railway line have been stolen. According to the Transport Ministry, they cost an estimated $5 million per kilometer. Residents on the stretch are unable to say who is behind the theft. My colleague Collins Frimpong reports.
The 46-kilometer stretch was originally intended to be the link between the Greater Accra and Eastern regions for the movement of people and goods, but has been stripped off its tracks by unidentified individuals despite a caution from the authorities. When I arrived at the scene, these residents volunteered to share accounts of encounters with men they suspect to be behind the theft.
We slept overnight and we saw them removing it from sources. Even we, the community leaders, went and stopped them that we don't know anybody. We don't have any information, so we'll not stop. But it's like there was an authority from above.
They came in batch and batch. The first batch came in, one Alaji came in, around 1 a.m. started taking, there was a crane, a full metal of like that crane, no. So they came and took that one first. So the
110-year-old Achimota and Sawam railway line was originally renovated under President Akufo-Addo. But what you see now is only metal containers, wooden crates, sand, and stones. Fifi, who identifies himself as the youth leader, alleges that some powerful hands could be behind the act.
And we approached them to ask them where are they sending the rail line. They asked us, they were sent from Flapstaff House. So we asked them, where are the documents that shows that they were sent from there? And they show a document.
Well, so that's Collins Frimpong's report there. Now, NDC presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama has refuted claims linking him to an attack on the convoy of the Asantehene Otumfuose to the second in Techiman on Monday. Speaking during a visit to the Asantehene, he dismissed a circulating video as fake and AI generated, describing it as a deliberate attempt to damage his reputation and that of the NDC. According to the police, the alleged incident occurred as the Asantehene returned from a funeral at Nkranza in the Bono East region, and this is a matter of investigation for the police as we speak. And they say initial findings suggest some youth believed to be from Techiman threw stones at the buses in the convoy. Listen to the former president address this when he visited the Otumfuose to today at Menchia Palace.
Na na fe e obi bi a friend fake news itimi de abefo computer eye bibia obi tia obeka se eye woni anopo e me sorry ya mahu ba ko e wo phone so aye de me picture atare ho na omo kan sem omo afamene e no mo de a computer so e kan ensem na ni ho ni na so ye seat of government enim hubi our department or Omejumani says fake news no Omode Etuja and no pay me sorry now cramming so be concranza a year until me bompai saying I'm found comra and no pay me sorry yes me makofa and could I be what teaching man so to abo and bo otum for a year entina me say campaign na to nsiomti account mo entro di nana we nyina enim and so me say yanyame o hatasuri onimobia kumamu na onimse yese onu na esi hene na mewjidie se obehu Ghana mo bo
say nya yenu mi abeye e ka mo abogana the sika sema say nyame ebi si henia obeboa ne siesie sa nyoma nyina na bibia abeyi na Ghana for eho atom.
So that's the former president, John Dramani Mahama, there when he visited the Asantehene Otumfuo Seitu II earlier today, explaining to him that there's a video that's in circulation. He suspects it's actually emanating from the seat of government. He describes it as fake news, AI generated, accusing him of being behind the attack on the Asantehene Otumfuo Seitu's convoy. This an allegation he actually dismisses and mentions that it's because the NPP's campaign is in waters, or really has fallen flat. Reason why they are actually putting these things out. Well, we've been hearing also from the NPP presidential candidate. He's wrapped up his constituency-based campaign in the 276 constituencies, gearing up for the elections. And for him, he's been stopping in the New Joabing South constituency, and he dismissed the NDC's claims of a superior economic track record. Listen to him.
year 2 about 2016 and a year no free a buying. And then or say or person samba bium. Mu person samba bium. Mu person samba bium. Mu person samba bium. Dear Ben no deba. A doom so ana. Ana ya confirm. Ana nkukon kiting. And then
he lost the elections in 2016. Today he wants to come back. Do you want him back? What is he bringing again? Is it intermittent power supply or chicks? Are they what he's bringing back?
Usha, jobs. We have created more jobs than you. We have done more agriculture than you. More industry than you. More roads than you. More railway than you. More airports than you.
That's Dr. Mahmoud Baumia there, ending today's edition of News 9. We've been hearing from the Council of Elders of the National Democratic Congress. We'll bring that to you. Subsequently, also President Akufo-Addo engaging Labour on achievements that has been made under his administration. That and more. Subsequently, also on myjoyonline.com. It's time for the gigs.
Hi,
and Dubia is here. Beautiful hair.
Thank you.
Really, what are we talking about tonight?
Still everything about elections. We are looking at it from the tech side, talking about some innovations in election technology. So yeah, people should just stay tuned. What can be some of the improvements in our current system if we want to include some tech-related things?
Okay. Well, we look out for that, and we're staying with you, Edubia, and the team on the Geek Squad. I am Emefa Apawu. Have a good evening.